This is Dolynny TV. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to yet another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion. And you know what? The yes, Puliarvi news. That's a little bit more important than I think day two of the draft, or more important than we'd like day two of the draft to be, I guess. As day two of the draft normally a not so good day for the Edmonton Oilers over the past 20 or so, 30 or so years. But today, you know what? There's some good picks made, and I think a lot of guys that Edmonton Oilers fans can be happy about. And one guy in particular, I mean, Bob Stauffer and Jack Michael might just explode on radio on Monday about him, or tomorrow or whatever, today, whenever they were talking about a guy named Carter Savoie. But let's get to the full list, and then I'll run you through everything you need to know that is Edmonton Oilers prospects. So Dylan Holloway, I was marked down as saying he's from Calgary, Alberta last night. He is in fact from Bragg Creek, Alberta. That is more so geographical where he's from. And Bragg Creek, guys, if you don't know, that's a pretty small town down here in southern Alberta. So, good on him to go all the way now to NHL draft pick with the Edmonton Oilers, formerly an Okotoks Oiler, so two-time Oiler all the way around now. And then you have at number 100, that guy I was talking about, Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels for, Carter Savoie of the Sherwood Park Crusaders. So, the Edmonton Oilers go out with their first two picks in the 2020 NHL Entry draft and draft two guys who are storied players in the AJHL, right? These two guys, if you talk about guys lighting it up in the AJHL the past, say, 5 years, these two guys are right there at the top of the list. So, Dylan Holloway, Carter Savoie, both two very good AJ picks. Now, Tyson, it's the AJHL. I've never even watched a game of that. Well, most people haven't, all right? Most people haven't unless you're in an AJHL city. And Edmonton proper doesn't have an AJ team. I believe it is Spruce Grove and Sherwood Park have AJ teams, but Edmonton proper doesn't. Calgary used to have a couple. Now I think they're down to one, but who knows what the AJ is going to look like 2 years from now if COVID's still around. That said, we'll figure that out as we go along, but for now, we get two products out of that system, Carter Savoie and Dylan Holloway. Carter Savoie, I believe, is committed to college next season. Dylan Holloway, I think we're waiting on a decision there as far as I understand. I think there might have been news there, but guys, you know what? I probably don't have time to get to all the news today, so I'll just leave it as blanks and we'll go do player profiles whenever I have some time to get these guys into the system, I guess you could say. Tyler Tullio, that is where we need to start the research because, my friends, I am not up to date on my fourth round draft picks. Let's just say that. So Tyler Tullio, 126th overall for the Oilers. He is from the Oshawa Generals. He is the 126th pick in the 2020 NHL draft, and he is a centerman who scored 27 goals and 39 assists in 62 games during the 2019-2020 Ontario Hockey League season, after scoring 15 and 27 in the 18-19 season. So you got to scroll down just to get some information on Carter Savoie here before I miss it all. He is committed to the University of Denver, prestigious program, in 2021, and during the abbreviated 2019-2020 Alberta Junior Hockey League season, the AJHL. Sorry guys, I just know it is the AJ. Grew up in Cold Lake, Bonnyville area. That is just the way it is. There's the NEAJBHL to me, and then there's the AJ. The AJ is the show, the NEAJBHL is the jungle. Now, a little bit of difference between the two because Junior A, Junior B, but both very good brands of hockey up there in northeastern Alberta. The Pontiacs and the Cold Lake Ice. Throw in the St. Paul Canadians. I've done some coverage, might as well. And let me see if I can get into Dylan Holloway here for a little bit for you, as he is a left-wing center product, and he's just listed as a forward. He's with the University of Wisconsin. They will begin play as soon as November 13th and feature 24 conference games schedule, and then plus an additional 4 games per school against the Arizona State University hosted at Big Ten venues. And you know what? He's represented Canada, and recently he was at the World Junior A Challenge in 2017-18 and 18-19. I believe that would have also at one point been in Bonnyville for Dylan Holloway. So let's get back to the other draft picks here and get down the list, as I'm going to butcher names. We've been through Tullio. Now let's get to the names I'm going to butcher hard. And I mean, I feel bad, but hopefully all's good here, boys. And hey, maybe one day I might end up talking to these guys and tell them about talking about them the day they were drafted by the Edmonton Oilers. So, Filip Engaras, 169th overall. Jeremais Lindewall, however you say it. Again, apologies. 200th overall. And then you have Maksim Berezkin, 138th overall. So the Russian Berezkin, he had 1 assist in 7 games with Lokomotiv Yaroslavl of the KHL so far this season. That would be also the team Ilya Konovalov's playing on. So again, I did discuss PRV and Lander both playing for Yaroslavl in the KHL. Well, this is a guy that benefited Konovalov more than likely. Gotta look. And he's had 25 goals and 29 assists in 51 games with Yaroslavl's MHL junior team in 1920. Now, the Swedish Engaras plays for the University of New Hampshire, with whom he scored 8 goals and 7 assists in 25 games. This is all coming off of EdmontonOilers.com, the press release, by the way. And prior to going UNH, he was a member of the Skellefteå AIK program. I don't need to read any further on him. What does that tell you? Skellefteå AIK. Do you know your Oilers? I know my Oilers. Do you know the 8th overall pick from last year? I know Philip Broberg. Well, Philip Broberg grew up in that same program. And while Philip Broberg, well, he'd probably be telling the Oilers, hey, there's this great guy in the later rounds of the draft projected, Engaras. You should go after him if you can, Kenny. Well, Ken Holland goes after Engaras, and there's, again, similar to that Berezkin connection, there's got to be a connection there to the Oilers' already products somewhere in there. And now Swedish winger Lindewall, who was drafted, what did we say, 200th overall, he's a little bit off the board here, as he's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 4 games so far during the 2021 season with Modo in the National Junior League. So not Modo, the prestigious Modo, where Filip Forsberg came from, or maybe it is the same. No, Filip Forsberg played for, was it Filip Forsberg that played? Guys, hockey history, not my strong suit, or you would have seen me on TV with Gene Principe during my college days, alright? Not my strong suit, fail to fail, and it is what it is. But following up his 2019-2020 campaign that saw him tally 11 goals and 17 assists in 39 games played, so the guy's lighting it up. He should go up to the SHL, no problem. And here is the quick note you need to know for today's information when it comes down to it. The Edmonton Oilers did not select anything but forwards. Forwards this year for the Oilers in the draft. That being Berezkin, a winger, Engaras, a centerman, Lindewall, a winger, and then you have Tullio, who is also a centerman. And then you have Carter Savoie, which is a forward listed from the AJ. And then you have Dylan Holloway, center/winger. So guys, nothing but forwards. Let's stock up that talent pool. And now we've got lots to work with for Ken Holland. So now it really starts, the depth charts build up with what? How many picks? Flash that graphic one more time. With 6 picks in the draft, Ken Holland manages to get something done. We didn't have a lot of picks, but he traded the 3rd rounder down for a 4th and a 5th. So he turned it from a total of 5 picks into 6 picks, and we got some very good names in there. Hopefully, Berezkin, Engaras, and Lindewall come up and surprise some folks. I love those late round draft picks, and you know Ken Holland loves his late round Russians and Swedes. Guys, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. It's been a long journey today apparently, but thank goodness I didn't have to make it. I don't think I could have sat through all that craziness that wasn't the NHL draft today. Yes, Matt Murray got traded early on in the day and stuff, but again, what does that affect the Oilers? Not much, if at all. So the Edmonton Oilers, they come out, I think, in terms of the hype of the draft, Carter Savoie, Dylan Holloway, 2 local Alberta products that really probably are the best picks that were potentially available. Carter Savoie was an absolute steal by everything we have heard today. Carter Savoie was ranked to go way up in like the 2nd round or early 3rd round, and he ends up falling all the way down to 100th overall. That is not a bad day at the office for Ken Holland. Yes, he's an AJ project. I get it. But guess what? You know what? End of the day with Carter Savoie, if he's even half as good as a guy like Cale Makar, I think the Oilers have a heck of a player on their hands in Carter Savoie. So guys, Tyson Dolynny TV. I will catch you later on if there's any more news. But what more news is there? The Oilers signed Jesse Puljujärvi today. The saga is over. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? It's that time of year. Let's go Oilers. We are on track for January 1st. I will hopefully catch you tomorrow, and we will talk a little bit later on.